It's so weird. Well, I feel like this month better not go too quick. I love May. I'll be slowing down time. Now, I guess we'll get started. I'm just gonna have a sip of my drink. Okay, you know me, once I start talking. So we may have others jumping on, but let's get started. So that's the one thing you want to take note on is, are your months going by quick or slow? And when it feels like things are dragging on, then you know we need to elevate ourselves. And we've talked a lot about elevating ourselves in this class. And I want to take you further. So to be a mystic is to listen within and around for guidance for every step of our journey. Every part of our journey, we want it to be guided. And when it's guided, we also know that we're co-creating with the universe and we're tapping into some really awesome energy. These energies that we tap into are from so many different sources and dimensions, but they all have certain inner truths that connect us. So there's a certain inner peace that comes from knowing that our steps and the things that we're focusing on are in line with our desire. So for me, oh, my candle is flickering like crazy. I'm gonna have to bring this so people can see it. So of course, when the candle's flickering, then you know it's, oh, now because I'm touching it, it doesn't. But it was flickering like crazy while I was talking, so I know I'm breaking things as we're talking about them. So our path is meant to have an inner peace. And what's interesting is, for me, whenever I have a desire to learn something new or to make something or craft something or help someone or do something or go somewhere, I know that is connected because I trust that my desires are the truth to my universal passion and my evolvement and my path and my future. So I get excited about science, and I get excited about looking for what things mean. For me, everything means something. And I only pay attention and look for the positive things, because I find that's where I can get my strength from. Every day I wake up, I know I can look for, what is that thing? What is that guidance that universe wants to tell me today? And it's never the same boring thing unless you are working on a certain project. So for us to be able to process that way, and for us to allow that mystical side of ourselves to possess power and passion, is really important that we possess a certain frame of mind or ways of honing our psychic abilities and our connections to nature, and paying attention to how we view the world and have an understanding of our own moralities and what's truth for us and what isn't. So we need to believe in our impulses, and we need to be instinctual at the same time. So we see divine intervention behind our impulses, right? Mystics also see the divine intervention behind what we are drawn to. And we understand that what we desire and what we're drawn to, if it's positive, there's a fundamental power that's inside every action and every decision towards the accomplishment of our plan. There's so much power in our essence. And because of this natural understanding of the universe that exists in everything, we feel a need to serve others in order to help guide them. And normally we guide them through obstacles and life decisions and help them with their gifts and their abilities, their intuition and their connection. And it's always unique. And it's always connected to who they are inside. So it's really important that we learn to value experiences. And the month of May is so important for this because this is a time of creation. And some of you were at the full moon ceremony. But this, and if you haven't, I'm just going to share a little bit of the magic that exists in the month of May. We receive an adjustment through this time because creation is in power. And when we're female, a lot of us can actually feel energy in our wombs. Some people will get like crampy feelings. Some people get super horny. Either way, whatever emotion that exists, someone will be connecting with that and the power of creation. And as things bloom, we have to understand that we're blooming. And the adjustments that can take place within us and our spirit are so powerful. It's one of the most powerful of the entire year because it can adjust us with our occult practices and our gifts. It can adjust us into a line and a channel of power or wealth or charisma, or if we're investigating things or researching things or learning new things. It's also a time of death and rebirth because with each opening and with each connection to a new channel we receive, there is a death that takes place because we're reaching into another realm. So it's really cool. Okay. So we believe in a natural understanding of the universe, and we believe that it's in everything, and that it is important for us to keep ourselves clear. The clearer we are, the more we're able to experience what we're in, and the more we're able to have intuition speak to us. And when we do this, we allow the universe to understand that we trust it. The universe is getting that message from us. And all along the way, we begin to own our morality. We begin to understand our inner self. In the beginning of the course, we talked about how knowing yourself was super important. Well, now we want to understand and connect with the universal powers that are outside of ourselves to co-create the life that we want. So we turn into a place where we like to question our existence. Why am I here now? Why are we all here together? Where am I headed? What am I focusing on right now that has to do with my purpose in the future? Where am I dishonoring myself? What do I need to change? What part of my body do I need to heal? So we are constantly asking questions for things that we want to know. And while we have the ability to see the connected things behind everything, it also allows us to fully comprehend how the universe works and why. Because whenever we go into these places, and whenever we go into a place of natural curiosity, whether it's about the physical world or the spiritual world, we'll get the answers that we're seeking. So we like to understand that there is a plan behind every action that we take. That the universe is there for us to trust in the purpose And it's important for us to learn how to value our intuition. We rely on our knowledge, on our language, on our senses, but we hold and hone the perceptions that we want with our abilities. And we use our psychic powers and our ability to ask spirit where it is we're headed and what do we want. Because when we seek the answer from the spirit and we receive the answer, we're already connected to the help of that spirit in that realm. So we understand that we can connect to different realms, different dimensions, different laws that will help manifest and make things easier for us and more connected and more real. And a lot of this has to do with our soul's purpose. And part of our soul's purpose is to set our own rules. It's about accepting who we truly are and staying open for that next thing that the universe has for us. And when we do that, the more connected we are, and if we seek that connection every day, we will begin to feel what that power feels like when it comes into our life. Oh, spirit is here, I need to pay attention. Doesn't matter where you are as soon as you feel it. So we understand and love the fact that there is spirit that we can connect with on every level in our life. Okay? And it is divine. And the fact that we don't know everything and what we choose to learn, know, and acknowledge is also our connection to the universe. So the universe is infinite, it's mysterious, it's complex, and there's so much that we can't comprehend. But we enjoy reaching out and learning the new things and hearing new perspectives. Learning how to trust the universe has a plan for us and that we're evolving with everything that we take care of and do. So one thing that I want you to do this month is actually try this as homework, okay? I want you to have some type of loose leaf tea. So you can even rip a tea bag and put some in the water. And I want you to let it steep for a minimum of 13 minutes. And then I do want you to enjoy your cup of tea. But as you're drinking it, I want you to pay attention to where those tea leaves go. Okay? And you'll find a bigger cluster of them. And I want you to post that. I'll put a teacup thing up there. Post a picture of it if you can, or let me know. Is most of your tea leaves up at the top of the cup, on the bottom, or in the middle? And do you see any symbols or letters or numbers or anything else that comes to you? Okay. But this tea I want you to choose should be for calming and relaxing, as well as wisdom and enlightenment or psychic powers. Okay. And I'm going to talk about a couple of those herbs that you can use, or your favorite tea. If you have a tea that you're connected to, one of my favorites is Earl Grey. Oh, I love it so much. So I like to use Earl Grey. Okay. Let's see. So now I want to get into a lot of these things that we connect with when we're practicing our magic or our power of intention and what really goes on, so that you can understand how much help you actually have around you. When we're practicing any type of magic, or we are in any type of a higher frequency, and it's a higher frequency than how we normally go at, we're connecting to universal powers. So we have the law of divine oneness. And the law of divine oneness represents everything. It means that everything is connected. And we believe that. That's why we believe we're a conduit of power. We also understand that everything is a vibration. So the law of vibration also represents not just the vibration, but everything that has a vibration has its own unique frequency. There's also the law of attraction. So whenever we're calling things in, we are tapping into that law of attraction and what it's like to be, what it's like when it's drawn back to us. Because the way we receive and what we receive when we do our magic lets us know so much about what we are connected and attracted to. We also use the law of correspondence. As above, so below. That means that what is truly us exists in the spirit world, as well as anything that we want to manifest. Okay? And so much more. But the reason why I'm going over these laws is because this is the month that they all are in play in our life. No matter who we are receiving an alignment and a new power of creation. And every May, that power comes into our life. And there's intuitive flashes and urges of things that have to be done to better our life. Okay? So we have the law of action, because manifest requires, in order for us to manifest, we need to align to the action. So manifestation requires aligned action. And sometimes that means, oh, we need to go out in the world and drive around and take papers all over the place, or sometimes it's doing candle spells. Okay? What is the action that you need to take for your manifestation to come? What is the power of your manifestation? We also have the law of cause and effect. Every action we have is connected to karma. It's also connected to a consequence. But one thing that I love about magic is whenever we practice magic, whenever we connect to the nature of magic or the magic of nature, we are rewarded with positive action. And whenever we do magic for ourselves, or we heal someone, or whenever we put ourselves out there in some positive way in the universe, we actually connect to the law of compensation. And that's one of the rules that we use in our sacred circle. Give to receive, receive to give. So we are rewarded every time we take right action for ourselves. And there's power in that. And there's excitement in that. And because of that alone, it understands us that there is also the law of transmutation of energy. Energy is always moving and it's always changing. And that also means that we should be too. My number one rule is if something goes negative or stagnant, I'm done. As soon as I feel like something pulls me down, I look for my way out, because that's my message. And I've been the type of person that, after meeting, my partner, Brett, I knew him for 3 months and moved to BC to be with him. I was like 19 years old and only knew him and talked to him over the phone. And we're still together, and it's been over, 16 years? So I thrive on change because I've learned how to trust it when I know that it's giving me the vision that is going to improve my life. So whenever I get into a place where things feel difficult, I will change it up. And right now, I'm changing things up because I've been doing so much intuitive work that I feel like my ears have been blown. Oh. So I'm honoring that. I have to know that, okay, I'm in a place of healing and I can't do too much spirit work right now. I need to do something else. So we have to be open to change. And we have to understand that we're always changing. And the better that we look at it, the better our result. And that's where the law of relativity comes in. Everything that is real to us is relative. And there's different layers and levels. And it's when we are in a balanced state and we're aligned with who we truly are, we tap into the law of polarity, because there's two sides to us. Actually, there's more than that. But our masculine is when our masculine and our feminine powers come into our play, our instincts and our intuition. And that's what the month of May is all about. It's balancing those two things so that our intuition and our instincts are working together to bring us the things that we truly want, not the things that are trying to distract us. So this month is actually such a powerful month because you won't find the negative distractions trying to get you. You'll actually hopefully connect to the power of nature that is trying to get us to craft something. Okay? So one of the things that's important is to do healing. Because with the law of vibration, we can actually heal ourselves and we can clear our mind. And it's really important that we learn how to clear our mind. So I want to go into a little bit of that, because when we clear our mind, that's when we can experience spirit. And when we truly experience the place of spirit or our true spirit, we can then go into a place of creation. And that's when we start to think about the things that we want or the answers that we want to receive. Because we reset, we quiet the mind, we go into what we want to create. How do I call this into my life? How do I get the money to buy this house? And we start to receive the guidance and the vibration of that. And so many people think that is so important that we just like quiet our mind and there's nothing. And I love that feeling. But for us, when we're going into a place of manifestation, it's important for us that we close our eyes so that we're not getting all this information around us. So we close our eyes, it gives us less stimuli, and we start to focus on our breath. We go into the element of air. What does it sound like? How does it feel? And when I go into my place of breath, sometimes it actually feels like or sounds like the actual wind. It's really cool. But as soon as you start listening to what your air sounds like, or how it feels, or can you hear a heartbeat, a silence, and a frequency, you're there. You're exactly where you want to be. You've now moved out of where you came from. So you always want to take note. What was it that I heard? Was it actually silence in the room that I heard? Or a heartbeat? Or air? Because that's important. Our breathing will eventually start to soothe our mind. And that's why we focus on the breathing, because your mind will try to chat or think of things. But when you only focus on your breathing, your mind will actually quiet up. And the same thing happens when we play the drum. It's always important that when we play the drum, we actually know we've healed from the drum, and all we can hear is the drum beat. Then we know we've now reached a new consciousness. And that's why the medicine men like to drum before they do anything else. Because they want to make sure that you've reached a new level of consciousness for you to hear the medicine and to take it in, body, mind, and spirit. And the one thing that's really important is when we go into that place, we are beginning to channel. That's our place of power. That's our place of channeling. So for those who want to get more into channeling spirit, do this practice that I'm talking about. And whenever we're practicing our magic, our spells, our intention, our focus, our divination, we are actually channeling. So it's super important for us to connect to that and master our channel. What does it feel like when you get into that place? So this month is about focusing on your intention. And it's also when you go into that place I just spoke of on that exercise, what happens? That's when we're actually changing things. That's the moment that we tap into the law of vibration. And that's where supernatural powers lie. All of the supernatural powers that we want to tap into and that we want to do magic with and the spirits that we're connecting with, all are supernatural powers, and they all connect with us through the law of vibration and frequency. And that's why universal laws are there. They're like a supernatural power that we can tap into to do magic. So when we are learning how to do spells and connections, whether it's the spirit world or things we want to know in our divination, we are matching the vibration of what we want to know. We're matching that consciousness. So it's really important for us to stay above vibration this month, because it's so important to know, we understand as mystics that a low vibration affects us. And it affects us because it actually travels through water 4 times faster than it travels through air. Did you know that? Low vibration and negativity travels faster through water, 4 times faster than it does through the open air. And so when our body is over 70% water, now you can understand how quickly we pick up the vibration from the negative energies, even negative words that resonate in our cells. There's ancient scriptures in so many different cultures that tell us that life and death are in the power of the tongue. One thing I want you to focus on too is this simple exercise. When we work, you've seen me go like this. When we work with our palms up, that lets our spirit guides know that we want to go into a receiving mode. So when you're focusing on the things that you want to work with spirit, this is receiving. And when we need to put our palms down, that means that we're working within ourselves. So when you're working on things that you need to release, or things that are setting you off, or fear, and you know you need to get into a grounding state, put your palms down. And you'll actually feel a magnetic pull when you need to do that. You can slowly go towards the floor and back up to your sides, and you'll feel heat or that magnetic energy. So try that in your workings this month. Your palms up to receive more energy. If you're low in energy, if you're feeling negative, put your palms up for a few minutes, even just sitting on your hand or on your lap. And if you feel like there's too much energy and you just want to ground and go into a place of comfort and a place of inside your own sacred space, try your palms down. Or if you need to release something, banish something, okay? So this is where we want to come into our place of awakening. And this is the month where each person comes into awakening on a different level. Sometimes it's realization. Sometimes it's things that you have to do. Sometimes it's awakening people. Sometimes it's an experience you're meant to receive. But it's always going to be something positive. So I want you to be open for this month for something positive to come into play. It's important for you to learn your understanding of the universal signs. And this is a month where we tap in and align to those powers. And these signs are going to give us encouragement and validation of what you should be working on, and also for your personal awakening, what you should be connecting with, your channel. Every experience is meant to be understood. So whenever you do experience, even if it's a nice thing from a person, what is it that you need to understand? What was it that you were meant to receive? So connect with things that you can understand what the universe is trying to manifest in your life. That way you will become more of what you will allow. And you'll feel that you actually have more power with not allowing negative things to come in. You're allowing your higher consciousness to connect to your real life. And like I said earlier, our instincts and our intuition wants to work together. So our awakening to our life's richness happens now. And it's only going to get better for the next 3.5, 4 months. So we really want to connect to all of those universal laws we were just talking about. So pay attention this month to what universal law were you actually able to witness, and how did it occur? Be appreciative of everything that you're seeing. You will gain more clarity, and it will put you into a deeper level of wisdom and more opportunities for your personal fulfillment. What you recognize each day is not based on random through the month of May. Okay? So really take that into and influencing your personal experiences through this month. As you awaken, you will actually feel very likely you'll want to receive and perceive more meaning and purpose into your life. And you'll become more fulfilled and able to accomplish your goals as you see a relationship between the law of cause and effect that are happening between your ideas and feelings, and how it will pertain to your outer world. Okay? So one thing that you have to understand is that you are free to change your life and your world anytime you want to. And if it's like one big thing, you can work your way up to it or do it all. Through this month, we do experience mental and emotional awakening. So I want you to pay attention to how your redirection is taking place in your life. We are all, every one of us has experienced a transcendent power. And this power has to do with our purpose and our goals. Okay? It may come to us at night when we're in our sleep and our dream state. It may come to us out in nature. It may come to us as a material world, tangible item. Or it may come to us as a feeling of spirit. But the material world is conscious energy and our currency. And this is where we get to align to something that is going to help us step up with our connection of manifesting our true purpose and our connection to the earth element. Okay? And we actually call this time of power crystallization. Because all of those, I don't know what class it was, but remember when I talked about how some of the chemicals in our brain actually have like these mini crystals? Well, this is our time where we actually crystallize and hold the record and the impression of what we want. And that's what we carry through time and space up until May next year. So you want to be able to receive a revelation of what you truly want to do in your life, or what's your personal nature. Maybe you're changing the way you think. Who knows? But realize that there is a change happening and take note on it. The other thing that's really important for us is to learn how to heal anxiety. And this is the month where we actually can experience that. So I want to go into a place because a lot of people have been experiencing anxiety. mystical and occults, we call anxiety the dark state, because it is a master of our mind. Once anxiety knows how to affect us, it comes and goes just like a trauma. So it's really important for us to be able to understand how it works for us and how to get rid of it. Okay? It's important for us to understand how to connect to the light of who we are so that we don't fall into it on a more negative level. It takes more willpower for us to come out every time. We are meant to be in a place of relaxation, as well as seeking bliss and ecstasy and living the life that we want. Okay? We are not meant to ignore our personal fulfillments. So when we get into a place of a dark state represents anxiety. It represents, it's actually called a dark heart. So in magic, you may see a lot of dark heart spells. Well, that means that it's meant to fight anxiety. And it also is something that will heal and help our experiences when we take care of our anxiety. So I want to go into a little bit of that, because one of the things you will deal with as a mystic is people's anxiety. Okay? And it affects every person differently, and we all experience it. But it's important for us to understand what helps. Okay? So I'm going to go over a few different things that you can try and see what works for you, and then make it yours. Maybe you add an herb to it or something you like to do. But this is something that I want you to try this month when you do experience anxiety. So it's important for us to discover any anxiety triggers that we get, or triggers of people that cross your path who are dealing with something, so that you can help heal them and give them the guidance that they need. Okay? The first thing that I always do is I make a tea for anxiety. So you want to have a favorite tea. And that's one reason why I like to have the loose tea, because sometimes if I'm doing spiritual lifestyle coaching with one of my clients, I'll have them drink a tea so that I can look at what they're experiencing as far as anxiety. The teacup will tell me if it's past, present, or future. So sometimes we experience health issues. Maybe we're in pain. Maybe we're dealing with something. Maybe we don't know if we should go to the doctor or stay home, or our emotions are connected to our health. So when we're feeling something physical out of whack, we will automatically go into a place of anxiety. Sometimes people are also on medications, or we're on medications, and this will also activate that feeling of anxiety. We all know too much caffeine, and that's like my number one thing. I love caffeine, but I've learned to just drink it a couple times a day. But caffeine can also trigger anxiety. So if you are starting to feel that energy, are you drinking too much caffeine? Are you skipping meals? If you're skipping meals, or you're not eating on the right scheduled time for yourself, that will actually put you into a place of anxiety. Our mind controls our body. So when we experience anxiety with negative thinking, it really has an effect of us. Okay? So it's really important for us to be like, oh my God, I'm thinking negatively. I need to take control of that. Financial concerns, worries about our future, saving money, our debts, that triggers anxiety. And you know, when I hate the bank. When I pay my bills, I have to light a white candle, because I don't like the feeling that I have when I log into the bank. It's like, I don't know why. I don't have any debts, but I have in the past. I know what I don't want to feel. So I can feel where my my protection mode goes in, right? I go into a place of protection, and I'm like, I hope there's no surprise, And I was actually a few years ago, identity theft is what I experienced, and it, traumatized me and affected me for a long time. So whenever I do anything that has to do with paying bills, I like to light a candle. I light a candle for comfort, and I light a candle to call my money back 3 times. And every time I put money out there, all I think mentally is, it comes back to me 3 times. And I know it does. So financially, that will put us in a place of anxiety. It triggers anxiety. Okay. Crowds trigger our anxiety. Some people can't go into Walmart or the malls like me. It's like I just need to cover and get out. It's too much for me to handle. Or social events. Oh my gosh. Conflicts too. My anxiety hits as soon as I feel any type of conflicting energy. It's like I can't handle it, and I'm a Libra, so it's like I see both sides, and I'm always right. So conflict will create anxiety for us, as well as stress, right? Our daily stresses. We are always experiencing things, traffic jams, work stuff, not being able to shed work. Okay? So whenever we are experiencing anything that puts us into a place of anxiety, make it a habit of doing something ritualistic. Okay? Public speaking, that's a big one. That causes it. Because we need to right away say, nope, I need positive reinforcements. So one thing that I like to do is carry some crystals. And anti-anxiety crystals that are really good for us are citrine, amethyst, and hematite. Citrine is very cleansing, and it's one of the only couple of stones that will not take on negative energy. And if you get a really good citrine, when you look into it, you'll sometimes see rainbows or inclusions. They say looking at the crystal citrine will automatically calm your mind. I also like to drink citrine water because it's so cleansing. The other thing is amethyst is protective, and the vibration of it puts us into a place of spirituality and contentment. And I like hematite because hematite will also connect us to a higher vibration. Right? It balances things out, and then it connects us to the energy of attraction. Some good herbs to deal with anxiety. Well, of course, lavender is relaxing. And the lavender, when it has a magical connection, it has a sweet scent. Okay? And there's a sweetness in it, almost like a honey. You'll know what I mean when you see that. So charge your lavender. And the reason why lavender is so magical is in the ancient days, it was actually called elf leaf. So whenever there's days that have to do with the fae or the nature spirits, I always burn lavender. Okay? Lavender also allows you to see spirit. So make sure when you're breathing it in, know that you're connecting to that veil, who you want to connect with. Okay? Basil is also a really good herb. So cook with it, put it in your food, and it will bring you courage and energy as well as protection. And then chamomile is very soothing. Now for me, I'm not good at drinking chamomile. I did a tea magic class and I had everyone make different teas, and some of them were just horrid. That one of them was so bad and it had chamomile, it just affected me for life. But I love the smell of it when it's burning, and I love the smell of the oil and it in the tub. But I do use chamomile a lot when I'm blending the herbs together. You can blend those 3 together in oils and herbs, or whatever, one at a time. There's also another ritual that I wanted to share with you for anxiety. One thing is when we are experiencing anything that is stressing us out or negative, it's important for us to clean our space and clear it. It's also important for us to open our windows or our doors. You have to let fresh air in. Once you let fresh air in, put salt in the corners of your rooms, or put on some music or smudge it, or even play a singing bowl, whatever it is that you do ritually that is spiritual for you, or drum or broom. But we want to focus on clearing the energy when we're experiencing anxiety, because that's when we're doing a banishing. So of course, I like to do a sweep counterclockwise. Try the smudge counterclockwise. When we experience anxiety and we're releasing it, counterclockwise. Okay. Another spell for banishing worry and anxiety, you will either need one black candle or one white candle. Some people find that for anxiety, the black candle works great. I like to use the white candle. I'm a white person. That's like, everything is white for me. You'll also want a paper, a pen, and something to light the candle. So you want to cleanse your space, cast your circle of protection, and you want to do something that's simple. Okay, so learn a really easy, simple cast. Or maybe you'll learn how to just do it this way and see it happen. You want to draw a pentacle on the paper, and you want to place the paper right beside your candle where you're working your magic. Light the candle. Watch for the candle. Is it flickering like crazy and breaking something? Or is it growing in power? Wait until your candle is in power, and then you'll want to chant the following. I call on powers far and near to banish all that's not welcome here. Use this candle to banish all that could cause harm. I turn it all into positive magic and charm. Bring me a blessing for me to see the spell is done, so mote it be. And you may have to say that more than once. 3 times is always best. As you're experiencing that, that's when you have to know that the reason why you're practicing that spell is falling into ashes. So I always imagine it dissolving out of me onto the floor. And that's where it's all becoming ashes. Some people imagine it floating away. If you imagine it falling to the floor, you want to sweep afterwards. Okay. Another thing is, I love to do this when I'm experiencing anxiety, is making a healing bath. And in March, we talked about making black salt. And this is one of the times that I like to use black salt. So I use my black salt, some lavender, chamomile, or rose. You can also use agrimony or any other clearing herb that you can find. Make your bath with the black salt and let yourself go into the water and just relax. As soon as you have a moment where you just kind of veg out, it's all done. Let me see. I want to think of what else I want to do. Okay, the other thing I wanted to discuss is a journal this month. I want you to journal the things that do cause you anxiety. And the things that cause us anxiety are what we would need to do practice on through this month, and the power of creativity. So some of the things that we need to focus on, actually we need to focus on all of these this month. Money, okay? With your financial situation, we're either going to be in a place of beginning something new, We may be in the middle of a situation or a middle journey, or we may be coming to an end. How do you feel about your financial situation? Are you in a beginning, middle, or end stage? Or your healing? Is your healing energy? You got to focus on that this month? Are you focusing on healing yourself? Or are you focusing on your healing energy on another? What is it that you want to heal this month? Relationships. What do you feel your partner needs to do? Do magic on that. Where is your cycle together? Are you in a new cycle? Are we in the middle of the cycle or an end cycle? Okay, because remember, everything right now is in a place of creation. It's moving. The wheel is turning. Our magic. What is calling you? Is it spirit? Is it earth, air, fire, or water? What element is calling you? What magic do you need to practice? That elemental draw is going to let you know what the universe is helping you with. That has to do with where you're headed. What about your mind? What is it attached to? What are you paying attention to right now? What is your actual mental experience through this month? What matters? You want to pay attention to your inner world. How are you feeling? How do you want to feel? How can you get there? Just taking the time to listen to the audio once it's back and going through these questions are going to trigger you and realign you. Same with your outer world. Where do you want to go? How do you want to feel? Is it positive right now? So what we want to achieve has to come into power this month. The actual things that you want to achieve. The other thing you always want to know is when you are experiencing anxiety, is it triggering from the past, present, or future? Is it the beginning of something? Is it the middle of something? Or is it something that's been dragging on? So try to have an anxiety journal this month and write down one word that is triggering it. When we start next month, before we begin the class, I want to go over some of those topics because you'll get to see how universal they actually are. And I guarantee you, we're going to have common ones. And that's going to show you how connected you are to the universal laws that are aligning you through this month. Okay? Try to get into the habit of lighting something, whether it's a candle or something, or standing outside, but you need to smell something. Some of you have taken the psychic development class and other classes, and you've heard me say that when we smell something, it heightens us. It actually activates us, and it's very magical. Okay? You also want to break your mental habits or any negative habits that you may have. And this is the month where it's really easy for us to break. So with the amethyst, if you are trying to break a habit or something that is really bothering you, tell the amethyst stone what you need it to do. Okay? Let me see what else I wanted to say. So this month is a good time where we can clean our home, smudge it, purify it for our new manifestations. Because up until September, this is all the time where we get to manifest everything that we've been trying to call in our full moons, everything that we want the universe to help bring into our life. So make sure you purify your home and cleanse it from any type of negativity. Okay? Let me see. I have to look at my little notes. Yes, as within, so without is the power. My door just opened there. It scared me. It was my son. Okay, yes, that the power of the goddess this month is also within our negotiations. So if you do need to do any type of negotiations with others that are regarding anything that you are trying to manifest, this is the month to do it. So put yourself out there. It's also when our higher self wants to come into our life to connect with our soul's mission. And every May, this will be different. So this month's power influences us for 4.5 months. So you want to put your story together of who you are, the story that you tell yourself about the meaning of your life. You want to tap into the belief that you were actually born for a reason and that you do have a soul's mission to fulfill. Because just putting that into your spirit and mind is going to expand your power. So believe that this month, whatever inspires you with energy and enthusiasm is what you need to master. And when I talk about master, I'm just talking about when you connect to it to the point where you get that channel or you receive that gift or that aha or that divine connection. So this month, you really want to pay attention. Where is your divine connection? How is it manifesting? And what is it that's bringing you the energy that you need or the energy that you feel excited about? So this month, align to this awareness, because next month I want to take you further into that. Now that you know yourself and you can become aware of the power of creation, we'll be able to take things further. When you try these things about your anxiety and you know what works, that is what you'll be able to offer others because you know how it feels. So you're able to say, when I do this, I get this feeling. It works within 30 minutes. Okay? So see what works so that you can put that in your medicine cabinet. Okay? So before we go, I want to pull a card if I can find them. Oh my gosh, where's my cards? I have such a mess here. Let me see. Well, it looks like it's going to be an animal spirit card. They're the ones that are beside me, which fits because we did animal spirits last month. So when you do see animals, Google it. What does it mean as a totem or dream? See what works. It's always going to coincide with an active topic in your life, besides the ones that we've been discussing, okay? Medicine bag. I love that. Oh my God, and that's what I was just thinking before, is I put my medicine, this is my medicine bag, and I was just thinking, you know what, I gotta get them to make the bag soon. Well, let's do that this month. So we should make a medicine bag this month. So I'll post that on different ways. Maybe I'll do it by video, or maybe we can meet up on chat. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I think we should do that because creating a medicine bag this month would be amazing. When we learn how to gather the right herbs, we know how to gather and connect to the spirit behind them. Okay? And all forces, even our herbs, have vibration. We've learned that. And the cool thing is the interconnection between everything that we connect with all comes from one central vibration. And then we take different forms from that. So it is, our magic is an electrical vibration, and it is our power. That's where our willpower lives. and it is a life force in itself, and it is a creative force of life, of the universe, of the God, of the goddess, of all of our manifestations. It's all connected, whether it's a thought or a deed. So I want you to connect with these things, and I want us to get into a place where we know that when we're performing magic, it doesn't have to be difficult and some big, huge thing. Those big ones are the full moons and the Sabbats, right? But when we're working on the energies on our daily life, it's just about alignment and vibration, okay? So we want to learn how to create the things that we want. How do we manifest this and put that medicine together? Okay, so we'll work on that this month. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask?
Yeah, what does the medicine bag card say? Does it say anything?
It doesn't say anything, but what it does mean is that it's a time of gathering. So when we get the medicine bag, it wants us to gather our resources, to be discerning, that the power is growing in our life. And that totally fits for this month. That it's time that we step back and we take a view of what it is that we want to grow. And there's also times where we shine brightly. This is a time where we get to shine brightly, and that people will see where we shine and where our abilities lie this month. It's also when we carry the medicine bag, it represents our true self. So we choose wisely what we put in, and we know that we can't be held back. And we also know that we're protected from anything that can try to stump our growth. And the meaning behind the medicine bag means that, it's traditional to carry the medicine bag as a form of protection, but it's also a sacred object. And that the items in the medicine bag contain qualities that allow our abilities to magnify and to help communicate with those laws of the universe. So that's why we put those herbs in. We want those frequencies and vibrations. And it's also, once we receive that, a lot of times we give the contents of the medicine bag to the universe, or you keep carrying it until it disappears. So this medicine bag, it opens like that, and I fill it. And sometimes when I go to touch it, it'll be totally empty. And I'm like, oh my God, it's all gone. And I know I need to redo it. Okay. So medicine bags are something that brings us protection and a growth in power. So we become very powerful. And if you were to ever go to a powwow, every single person would be wearing a medicine bag so that we can't pick up on any curses. So it doesn't matter if someone has an evil eye, we're protected. So I think that would be really fun, is to put together a medicine bag. This one's a beaded one, but you can also have the leather ones. I got them all over the place. But we can make leather ones, sachets, you can sew your own, mojo type, but I think that would be fun to do. Oh, thank you. This one is a beaded one. And let's do it. Let's make a medicine bag. And we'll do it with herbs and plants that we are around in our yard or when we go for a walk. Okay, so I'll post some things to watch for that are good for medicine bags. And I'll also post this as soon as it's uploaded. Okay, that'll be fun. And then you can carry a thing of power. Like for me, I have one whenever I travel. And I will not go in the car unless I'm wearing it, because I just know I gotta be protected and I want to make sure I get home, right? Same with our broom, right? Our broom, I know that because I have a broom in my house, it will always bring me home. So, you know, think objects are sacred. They have power. So yeah, let's make one this month. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me. It's past my bedtime. And we'll talk soon. You take care. Many blessings to you. Bye-bye.